Vocabio. Master English your way.
Enriching the insiders and impoverishing the outsiders. They can benefit the sanction busters.
As an elaborate exercise in collective solipsism. Thank you very much.
They impoverished the people. What, I suppose...
Fundamental aims of peace and prosperity. It's impoverished a large part of Europe through the Euro system.
Enriching the insiders and impoverishing the outsiders. They can benefit the sanction busters.
In 1967, that you could be imprisoned because
2003, when he was imprisoned for almost 10 years on charges of tax evasion and...
Worried about keeping us happy when they were enslaving us for 300 years, or imprisoning us at mass rates, or the police are shooting us in the streets.
My friends have been threatened, and many more have been imprisoned for their beliefs. I want to tell you...
Arrested, imprisoned, and put on trial for treason because he was such an...
personalized, authoritarian, illiberal, nationalistic, traditional...
Put in a blender and modernized and personalized. And I think to have a book like...
Who are able to build these personalized and personalistic audiences and...
But with sort of constantly self-reinforcing, personalized, targeted, emotion-filled content.
Via AI agents, which are personalized to you. That was just his thinking.
Yeah.
But Laura,
yeah, I mean,
stone pillars in order to propagate this new belief and also to speak both to the...
You hear those motor sounds. Sound doesn't propagate in the vacuum of space. So if
internally structures that propagate these weights from the photo of the dog or cat itself.
And if this actively misleading quality is then propagated in the modern world. Thank you very much.
Else you can do except try and propagate what is inside in other ways. So it's
people, but I guess that there would be a reasonable overlap between privilege and progressive values among
what they were thinking about writing, made sure there was no overlap, but then just sent them on their way.
And what do you tell them? Like, you're going to write a book?
There are any interesting lessons and overlaps. So largely because I don't think the Labour Party even today really
sophisticated and more technologically advanced than the Orwellian state. China has the largest videos of
things coming out of Food Forward is understanding the overlap of food and climate. So we're not just thinking
history, and so when we kind of categorize it as friend or foe, we are using our own value judgment.
Iterations, maybe it'll categorize 99.9% accurately, and it can't.
But it's just really good, and the way that we categorize that is by saying what's core. We use this apple analogy.
An aspect of the way we categorize people without necessarily there being
the bus route stopped. Some of them were categorized as what County Durham called Category D villages.
They'll up the ante, they'll escalate. It's not just me who thinks this, the Americans think that.
In Tokyo, things were also escalating.
Also, do you think that these protests could escalate?
Well, his comments are ridiculous. I mean, he's tweeting to stop...
Third World War, and it escalates in a way that are the worst-case scenarios. That really is it.
Do you think Putin has ambitions to escalate the war in Ukraine with countries in the Balkans?
4 years ago, how do we convey the sense of positive change through our media?
The depth of emotion he can convey through just a few notes.
Ambitions. So missions convey a kind of inspiring, stretching, ambitious purpose. It's more towards the aspect.
So what he was trying to convey the impression of was that there is and never had been
perseverance. And I think the main messages that I will convey is that you have to have perseverance, you have to have patience.
They arguably tackled their banking problems quicker after 2007.
The law, then that religion has got to be tackled head-on. If, for instance...
A special panel on tackling the question, can Britain become an AI superpower?
But we then have a major problem, and how we tackle this in a holistic way, we obviously need a much better approach to public diplomacy.
The idea that race is a social... While we're tackling racism, we also need people to understand the ways in...
Voluntarily withdrawn from Russia, either closing or selling up completely,
or mothballing operations.
Of you demanding that Mr. Humphreys be withdrawn, and he said, well, because he's not in favour of ours.
I can't get that. I can't withdraw my share of the network. See, if I have
they came to an understanding, and it basically was that Britain would withdraw from the New World in any sort of military
way of life of the natives, and it was the presence there that did that, and they didn't withdraw and say, well, let's stop and try. And there were actually many
minutes. I just want to dwell on that point in 2020 when your book takes.
And so I dwell on that, and that is sort of one of the early chapters.
Questions. However long I think we could dwell on algorithmic rule, how horrifying.
Educated, city-dwelling rump, as it were,
that the strong man had. Can you dwell on that for a moment with us and begin to unpack what they all are?
This objection has been endorsed by the American College of Physicians, who recommends a freeze on the procedure.
A new option, one that's endorsed by society and within medicine. The Meacher Bill.
Endorsed by just all these cultural messages that female aging is
diverse range of endorsers than anyone else. He also has a very diverse
someone who covers a particular topic for you. Them endorsing a product, especially a product that they are deeply.
I have personally encountered mis and disinformation throughout my life.
Difficult research level math problem that you encountered. One that gave you pause, maybe. Well,
wherever I went, I was encountering that phenomena. And so that's what the first half.
Bad date or a spousal abuser they once encountered, you know what I mean? And
white parent and they encounter a black person, there's a sense that there is danger.
The regime has also prosecuted thousands of protesters in 2019. Some of them
about taking up sanctions against those he can't prosecute because he
any political information for the fear of being prosecuted. So the way people would share their political opinions is through those.
Culture war. If you are out there prosecuting politics, you're
in China. Nobody here is being prosecuted because they say that Winston Churchill was racist.
Every bit of our technology is designed to optimize just one device, and that makes things happen that you
technologies and chemicals to sort of optimize our bodies and cure these things, sort of ailments.
Every bit of our technology is designed to optimize just one device, and that makes things happen.
Mathematical model that optimizes a certain decision-making process. So,
is streamlined, optimized, centralized, etc., etc.
Backstop to compensate for the difficulties of the energy transition. They're like
almost halving the tax rate is going to compensate for that, and so they're going to have to find
that they should actually compensate the victims and certainly bring about an
energy transition. Promises made that, you know, winners can compensate losers, and don't worry, we can have new retraining programs.
An individual householder might be rewarded or compensated in the same way as a utility scale provider.
A little bit about the work that DEFRA has been doing with its farming and countryside program, where
this is really useful. Is to de-phone your life. Look at all the fun. Like, this isn't a phone. This is really useful. Is to de-phone your life. Look at all the fun. Like, this isn't a phone.
In me is the sort of my default setting, and it always has been.
Totally understandable about why people are committing to more quote unquote defense spending. My point is the definitions
are the people who are suffering the most. They bear all the
by the harm that a gambling addict suffers. You know, the best estimate is that 6 other people are
finding the sweet spot of pain, pleasure, and suffering. He is the Brooks and Suzanne Reagan professor.
Yes, I have suffered for J.K. Rowling's many millions.
There are those who fight and those who suffer. There's the technology. Changes in technology bring changes in.
Of the energy system hopefully can be electrified, like maybe heating homes or driving cars. That's harder to do for other
operators or our contractors to start electrifying the fleet, to look at hydrogen.
If we electrify energy and then electrified transportation.
Power business, which houses its electrified power, fuel cell, and hydrogen technologies.
The page, but thank God for Donald Trump. He electrified the material when he came to office.
And I am strongly in favor of liberalizing so that we can admit people who don't earn.
Suddenly the economy liberalized, people became richer. But then what we didn't...
A couple of decades and started to liberalize. You don't really see companies like IMPRISON operating.
We've been on the wrong track to presume China would liberalize themselves for over the past decade. We should be
centrally planned, mandated and regulated, competitive, liberalized.
Vocabio, available in Google Play. Download, discover, improve your English.